Welcome to the sanctuary. You know I like to keep it raw because we are authentic. Always love. Always love. This is what it is. Always
So
love.
my name is Mope, Mope with an accent on the E. I am 28 years old. I am located here in Baltimore, Maryland. And yes, I am a non-binary trans man of Yoruba and Gisi descent. Yes, multicultural person. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. First question: what guided you into your path in life? Fuck that all the way up.
I would say just being interested in my background, knowing that I am first generation. You know, both of my parents are immigrants. One immigrated here to the United States, the other one immigrated to London. So that's, part of my identity, right? And I feel like with me just being interested in what we did like pre-colonial time and like what our culture is, like I feel like that really guided me into like this path that I'm on of being a holistic person, being spiritual, and just being interested in like herbalism, spirituality, all these different things, because it's black, it's indigenous, So I feel like that's what really guides me.
What are two of the biggest challenges you had to overcome on this current journey?
I would say two challenges. I would just say like loving myself, and the matrix, making sure that I'm taking myself seriously, but not too seriously, and also understanding that I am my own God. It can be hard to feel rooted in yourself, knowing that there's so much chaos going around you, and it's always good to just affirm yourself and just be like, I'm my own God. Like things will happen, and things are not always gonna go your way, but just knowing that like the universe has your back. So I feel like my two main challenges is this self-love and understanding that I am my own God, but I always combat that with, I'm grounded, I'm rooted, and I have all the people that I need to feel grounded in my body.
What is your meaning of self-love? Oh, wait. Sorry. Okay.
My meaning of self-love, I would say loving your spirit before
Wait,
anything.
sorry.
Girl.
No, for real, go sit down somewhere. Okay, yeah, so you can start again. Say, my meaning of self-love is.
My meaning of self-love is loving your soul first. That's before anything. We are a spirit before we are a body. We are spirits having a physical experience. So I feel like self-love is making sure that you feel good in your body before you nourish your body. So that's like understanding what your spiritual belief is, understanding how your mind works, understanding how you feel in your body before actually like adorning yourself, right? Before actually like physically taking care of yourself. Like that's first and foremost, but before all of that, how do you feel within your own identity? And I feel like that's what self-love really is.
Thank you for that. In this moment, what do you need to feel more whole?
In this moment?
Yes.
That's a loaded question. In this moment, I don't feel like I really need anything at this moment. I feel like I just need to amplify myself and just trust myself, trust my intuition, trust my gut, and that's really it. Sometimes I know that it can be kind of hard to, focus on self, but yeah. just knowing that my intuition is good.
What is your meaning of divinity?
I would say my meaning of divinity is understanding that you are the universe. You know, we as human beings, as a species, as a mammal, we are so many different elements, like literally. And these elements are within the universe, it's within the galaxy. And I feel like as human beings, our divinity is just understanding that we are an extension of the universe.
Truth. Spoken well. What are 2 ways that you embody your truths?
2 ways? I would say, honestly, being an herbalist. I love being an herbalist. I've been a self-taught herbalist since I've been 19, so I want to say for like 9 years. And having that connection with plants is really beautiful because, there's like hundreds and thousands of plants, and plants come from the earth. And, the earth is an extension from the universe. So I feel like having that connection is like really powerful. And it's so cool because there's so many elements that we may have, that we may carry, but there's a cure for everything. And I find that to be very astonishing. So I would say most definitely herbs and herbalism. And another thing would be culture. I feel like culture is very important. As indigenous folks, culture comes from the relationship that we have with nature, because culture is like music, food, arts. And if nature didn't exist, we wouldn't have culture, because like in order for us to create all these different things, like we need that, right? Like, so one thing that I've always said was we sung before we spoke, because these are like different animals, right? Like like specifically birds.
Can you start over again from the birds? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's gonna tend to happen. So.
Okay. So specifically for birds, birds sing when we go outside. When we wake up, birds and sing, and just knowing that like. I want to go upstairs and punch everybody.
I kind of want to just be like, hey, can you not walk too much? But then they're gonna like,
but they're gonna be like, this is a library.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
From the birds.
From the birds.
They wake up and go outside. They're singing.
Okay. So yes. So when we wake up and we listen to birds, right, and they're singing and they're just talking in their own way, I really believe that that's how we started creating language, by listening to birds specifically, because like they're singing, and then that's how we made instruments, right? We had to like imitate what they were doing, and that's how we created whatever that can be, like a flute or like a winded instrument. And I feel like that's culture, right? Because each culture has like their own instrument. And I don't know, I just feel like culture is really beautiful because it's really just... I feel like culture is just the amplification of nature, truly.
I love your example with birds. I'm a bird lady.
I'm a Gemini, so my past life, I've been many birds. Yes.
Do you feel empowered enough to create your own dream reality?
I do. I do. I feel empowered enough. I do know that as a dark-skinned indigenous folk, living in this country, I know that I face a lot of injustice. I know that like there's a lot of things that challenge me. And sometimes it does stop me, but at the same time, I do feel empowered to really just pay attention and focus on like what I really want and to see that bigger picture and to like actually like execute that, because at the end of the day, I'm indigenous. And because of that, I have so much community in me. I have so much like life in me. And as much as we do live in this world where it's just like, you can't do this, you can't do that, my ancestors don't say that. They always tell me like, you can do whatever you want. And that's like my main thing in life, of just listening to my ancestors more than anything, because our ancestors were here before us, as to why we're here right now. So just knowing that they're there for me, like regardless of if I do feel like shit, if I do feel depressed, if I do feel stressed out, they're just always there. So I know that like I'm always gonna be empowered to just like do whatever I wanna do, because I always have community. If it's not physical, it's spiritual.
Community. Ancestors.
Community is everything.
Tribe. The love that emits from within. What is your legacy that you plan to imprint on this world?
I know that I am a messenger. I know that I am a medium. I know that I have all these like spiritual abilities, being clairvoyant, being clear cognizant, all these different things. And I feel like my legacy is just to remind people that you're not just your physical self. Like every human being embodies a sixth sense, and because of that, what do you want to do with that sixth sense? Like for me, I'm aware of my gifts, but I'm not the only person that's gifted. So just reminding people, reassuring specifically Black people that you're magical. It doesn't matter what experiences you've gone through, you're able to tap into your sixth sense and be the God that you're meant to be.
Thank you for your service on the planet. Oh, wow. When I hear you talk, it's like looking in the mirror. And I love that. Even though I know, but to witness it in firsthand glory of all that is, it's amazing. It's something worth living, continuing to live, knowing that I choose to show up to be a reflection in this world. Other people are showing up to be a reflection in this world. I don't really fully understand why some people don't have faith in humanity. It's like, I get that it's like, oh, well, they don't have faith in themselves, so how can they have faith in other people? But like, bro, I'm literally walking around, you're walking around, we're all walking around, and we're emitting all of this love, all of this light, all of this truth, and yet you still are blind.
I mean, I feel like that's just like the third eye.
Oh. You're fine.
Okay.
I feel like that's just the relationship that you have with your third eye. For me, I've always said that my third eye has never been closed. It's always been open. I can eat as much processed food. I can watch the most craziest shows, and my third eye would never close. Because I just have that relationship with it. And I know that it can be kind of hard to continue to open up your third eye, because that's your sixth sense, your sixth chakra, truly. So yeah, it's a challenge to know that, oh wow, like I am a god, or like, oh wow, like my experience here on earth is more than just making money. It's more than just like having a family. It's like understanding, oh, I can do these things because I'm able-bodied, or if not able-bodied, like I have that idea, right? I have like something came to me and I'm able to create that magic, so it can be hard to like just sit with that, because we have to do so much in order to not just live but to survive, specifically as a Black person. Like a lot of us are in survival mode, so to get out of that can be like so impossible, because our lives is just focusing on how we surviving today, not tomorrow, but like today. So it's understandable how it can be hard, but that's why like community is important. That's why culture is important, because that's what creates the family that we want for ourselves.
Thank you for that. You're reminding that even if I can't fully comprehend the minds of others, that there is a way.
Yeah.
There is a way. How does the lifestyle you embody today reflect your long-term legacy, as you mentioned before?
My lifestyle, I would say like, cause like right now, like I have like my own business. I just got 2 jobs, which is like incredible. I've always wanted to work at a spiritual shop, and that's what I'm doing. I'm certified in construction, and now I'm doing that. So I feel like right now, like my lifestyle, it's like I'm accomplishing a lot of different things so that my legacy thrives. Like my biggest goal in life is to make homes, like from scratch using my hands. And I am going to do that one day, because right now I'm focusing on the relationship that I have with myself. Like what does playing in mud look like? What does getting dirty feel like? What does working at a spiritual shop, like what is that doing for me? How am I communicating with other people? How am I making them feel safe in their bodies and making the right decisions to pick up a crystal for them, or for just a crystal to just talk to you? Because that's what I do when I walk into a spiritual shop. Sometimes it's not about like looking for a crystal. Sometimes it's just about like walking around and seeing like what is calling onto you, and like you just get it. Don't look it up yet, and then you get home and then you look it up and it's just like, oh, okay, this is what I really needed. So just trusting yourself so that other people are able to trust you, and I feel like that's something that I'm sitting with right now, so that in the future I'm just rooted in that. It's not like I'm second guessing it. It's like, no, this is why you're doing what you're doing. Like I really want people to feel that. I really want people to trust themselves, because I'm able to trust myself, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Safety is something that we need as humans.
Yeah.
If we don't feel safe, then we don't proceed. And if we don't proceed, we remain in the comfort zones, we remain in our sorrows, we remain in our fears, when right on the other side of all of that is the dream reality.
Yeah. I feel like the opposite of safety is fear. Because when you don't feel safe, right, you're fearing yourself, and that creates like self-doubt, and that creates like all these different things. Because I'm very open of like, I've been having imposter syndrome for the past 2 years of not really trusting myself, because I've done so much to be safe and I've done so much to survive, and it makes me question the decisions that I've made, because I've been mistreated within the process. But it's like, I wasn't being mistreated because I'm a bad person. I was being mistreated because I'm radical. Like, and because sometimes like when you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do so much, I'm gonna meet all these different people, and then you do, but then the people that you meet, are using you, or like they're mistreating you because they want your energy, or like they just don't like you. So it makes you question yourself of like, why am I here? If I'm trying, I know my purpose, I know what I want to do, and all these different things, and I'm putting myself out there, and I don't have nobody. I don't have my parents, I don't have my grandparents, like I'm existing by myself for myself. So if I'm going outside to meet people, why am I being mistreated? If you're saying that you not need me, but you want to utilize me, right? Because I'm an herbalist, because I'm doing these specific things, take it. and transmute that energy instead of like making me feel weird because you feel weird. Like that's gonna make me question myself. So I'm very open to say that I've very much so have been in imposter syndrome. It's a bitch, because it's just like, damn, like, you wake up and you're like, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go out my day, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But then, like we face certain things throughout the day, right? And you're just like, damn, like, why did that happen? Like, did I do something? When you just woke up and you wanted to do what you wanted to do, right? So it can really be a challenge, but nah. I know that I'm slowly but surely getting out of that.
I want you to know that when I ask you to hang out, it's because I want to share my life experiences with you, and rather than, being a vampire.
Yeah, because, there's a lot of vampires.
Not about that vamp life. When you hear the heart within, what ignites in your mind?
The heart within. Well, the first thing that just came up to me was like the color green. I feel like that's my favorite color. But green, that's like herbs, that's plants, that's the trees, that's grass. The heart within is just having that connection with nature, having that connection with ethers, So yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I think about nature and the ethers. And ether is like, the essence between the planet and the galaxy. Like when you go off out of the planet and like you're entering like this realm before you actually see space, like that's the ether, and I feel like everybody comes from there. Like everybody, not just like people, but like animals, like every species comes from that, because before we enter this flesh, we're spirit, right? So I feel like the heart within is like, okay, what creates that heart energy? It's the ethers.
Thanks for explaining that. I've never had anyone tell me what they believe the ethers were, and the whole visual was well needed as well. I love that you say the color green. It reminded me of this song, and it talks about 528 hertz, the frequency of love.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, I have to play you the song later because it's so amazing. I'm not gonna get off topic though. When you see the Heart Within's logo, website, or platform, how does it make you feel?
Well, when I see the Heart Within logo, I see that that lotus, right? And like the lotus is a very powerful flower because it's formed from like mud, So just knowing that like, beauty, prettiness, to be beautiful, like it comes from pain. It comes from dirt. It comes from like things that may feel icky, but knowing that like you have to like experience that in order to like feel the beauty, to feel pretty, to feel one within yourself, So yeah, when I look at the logo, I see that of like, in order to live, it's not about being perfect. It's about just experiencing things to really get to where you need to be.
In what ways has your experience with the Heart Within added to your journey? Aided your journey?
I would just say being one with myself. Reminding myself that my heart is bountiful. My heart is very expansive. And just sharing that, because I do feel like my love is not just for me, it's for everybody. I will always say that, like, I am community. There's a lot of different people in me, so just that reassurance of like, yeah, I am love and I love love and I'm gonna share it.
Thank you for that. But to just clarify, when we speak of the Heart Within, we're talking about the business and not literally your heart within.
No, but that's the thing too. Like the business is more so of like, it's a very powerful platform, and when I think of this business, I think about the love that I have, you know, and the love that I do want to share, because, you know, it's more than just a business. It's like a movement too, you know. So when you're part of a movement, you know, you can't just, I mean, yeah, you come first, but you can't always think about yourself. Like, you know, there's other people around that's part of this movement, right? So it's like, okay, I'm showing up for myself to show up for another person, you know. So when I think about the heart within, it's more so of like, I'm good, but are you good too? You know, like, it's a community effort to just, for us to just we have to be there for each other as much as we're there for ourselves.
Ah, so many beautiful moments of expression. So many beautiful moments of expression. I'm sitting with myself. I'm sitting with myself right now because I want to listen and feel and acknowledge if there is anything internal that wants to be brought to the surface in this conversation besides what I wrote. It's a lot of gratitude towards you and your authentic expression just now. I'm not upset the fact that I like clarified, but the follow-up question really helped bring more out. And what you said was something that needed to be heard, not only for my own ego, but for those who don't know what we experience within this platform. And if they're interested, then they know they are safe. Because we are here at the center, which is the love that is I, that is you, that is all things. And so, just like the lotus, as we rise through all of these transformations and heartaches and every sensation of emotion, I want to know, are you ready to transform like never before?
Most definitely.
I am. I love that. I probably should explain it more. Alright, so this is the part where you're supposed to be like, I am. And so the whole point of like having everyone say I am is to project that claiming of identity, like we spoke about earlier, of like I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna ask it again.
Yes.
Are you ready to transform like never before?
I am.
And where does it all begin?
The heart within. Yes.
Do you want to talk about your Reiki experience?
I don't mind. I would say at first it was very calming. It was a really beautiful experience, but a lot of things came up for me, and I felt that's like the beauty of it, of just knowing that things will come up in your life, but how do you want to transmute that energy in order to feel you know, good within yourself. For me, I have a lot of stored trauma in my body, and I feel like the heart within, it made those traumas come out, so that I can focus on my shadow work, so that I can focus on, you know, just having this better relationship with my old self, to acknowledge my new self. You know, I am entering a new chapter in my life, and the heart within is more so of letting me embrace this new chapter. You know, things are gonna come up, but for them to come up, how do I want to love myself in the process?
Ashe.